Most people are at least aware of Knott's Berry Farm in Southern California, just a 7-mile drive from the entrance gates of Disneyland. Knott's Berry Farm is owned by Cedar Fair, who also owns Cedar Point, one of America's most famous roller coaster havens. But before Cedar Fair came to own Knott's Berry Farm, it almost fell into the hands of Disney. Knott's Berry Farm was opened as a roadside berry and preserve stand in the 1920s. After seeing some success with a small restaurant, the Knott family decided to build a replica ghost town on the property to attract more guests. Fast forward to the 1990s, Knott's Berry Farm has slowly evolved into a fully fledged amusement park, attracting visitors from all over Southern California. The park was owned and operated by the Knott's children, and they ended up deciding to sell the park once their parents had passed away. At the same time, Disney had just canceled WESTCOT, which you could learn more about by clicking here in the top right. Disney was still looking for ways to expand their efforts in California into a one-stop resort destination, and upon hearing that Knott's Berry Farm was up for sale, Disney Imagineers made their way to the park to scope it out as a possible Disney property. To put it simply, they weren't impressed. But upon seeing the replica of Independence Hall at Knott's Berry Farm, the Imagineers had an interesting idea, retheming Knott's Berry Farm as Disney's America. The original plan for Disney's America was for it to be set in Virginia near Washington, D.C. This new park was a dream project of then Disney CEO Michael Eisner, who saw the park as a perfect expansion for Disney in the northeastern United States. Disney's America would have featured territories instead of lands, all themed to different time periods and locations integral to the history of the United States. Unfortunately, public opinion of the project in Virginia was very negative, as locals felt that the park would draw too big of a commercial presence to the area. The reaction was so negative that Disney canceled any plans for a Virginia-based Disney's America theme park in 1994. This was why the prospect of converting Knott's Berry Farm to a Disney's America theme park was so exciting for Disney. It was a park that already contained much of what they would need for Disney's America, and it was just 7 miles away from Disneyland. It almost seemed too perfect. In this version of Disney's America, you would have entered through President's Square. This section of the park would have closely resembled Liberty Square in the Magic Kingdom, and it would have also featured the Hall of Presidents. Other areas of the park would have been consistent with the original Disney's America plans in Virginia, and several existing Knott's Berry Farm rides and attractions would have been rethemed to fit. So, what happened? Although Knott's Berry Farm is just a short distance away from Disneyland, transportation between the parks would have been a challenge. They had originally proposed a monorail track connecting the two parks, but that would have been extraordinarily expensive and complicated. They had also considered a bus line between the parks, but the freeways in Southern California would have made that impractical and next to impossible for guests to park hop between Disneyland and Disney's America. But the real problem? The Knott children. They believed that selling Knott's Berry Farm to Disney would have been too extreme a departure, and would have led to the destruction of most of what their parents had built. What do you think? Would you have rather had a California version of Disney's America, or are you happy with Knott's Berry Farm? Let us know in the comments, and we'll see you in the next episode of Disney Declassified.